That's right. I just typed in hard spam because I'm a boomer, and sometimes I don't know how to use these things. I don't even know what some of the abbreviations that you could use. Can you hear me?
1 second.
Oh
yeah. You can't hear me?
I can. You're walking around and looking like,
No. What?
Who's the boomer now?
No, I just give me a second. I'll be right back.
Unbelievable. Here we are. This is why we could come in early for mic checks. See, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome to the TruthWire. I want to thank all of you out there who are watching and supported us and watched the Mohammed Mirandi interview. It was nice to have a couple thousand people watch something again. We're still fighting through the demonetization, not in the algorithm. We didn't get a lot of people out there didn't get spanked like we did, but we don't care. We're still going to fight through and give you the news as much as we can. I want to thank you all for showing up. I am your host, Craig Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And, of course, we got Jayme CheeseSlice and the ones and two into all our lovely producers, chat people, supporters in the chats. Thank you so much. We love you and we support you. BD stands for Big Daddy. I was just text. Thank you so much for telling me that, Jayme, on the air. Appreciate it. A lot of stuff going on, fam. I don't even know what to make of it, really, to tell you the truth. I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know who's lying. I woke up this morning.
How do you not know that?
There's a lot of stuff going out there. And
what are you talking about, though? Like,
when it comes to Iran and the bombing and who's hitting who and who's getting what and what's happening.
You don't know what's going on?
We
don't know who's lying?
We know who's lying, but we have a country run by psychos, fam, and it wouldn't put it past me that they wouldn't be carpet bombing Tehran this morning. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's not on the mainstream media news at all. They're not reporting that. Instead, they're paying close attention to Christine Noem's call for more money to the Department of Homeland Security. In her hearing, they had Governor Waltz on this morning going after the whole Medicare, the Minnesota thing. They'll be talking shitty about Somalis all day today. So a lot of stuff's going crazy. Yeah, we know they're lying, right? But there is a mass suppression wave out there, fam. They are suppressing a lot of information.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
well,
hard.
No, I mean,
so bad for
I don't know.
Iran. I feel awful for them, and I know they're going to get carpet bombed. Go ahead, fam.
They're getting bombed every day. I mean, right now it's ongoing with Lebanon as well. We know, as I said, the Takfiri forces have already started to move in Lebanon. This is happening every day. Occupied Palestine in the West Bank is getting bombed. That's all happening. That's all being shown by the media in Iran, by Press TV, by pretty much anybody that's on that side. Al-Mayadeen. If you watch like the Telegram channels and other sources that come from, you can see that they are getting bombed. The thing is, the United States is realistically cannot keep up with their production of the stockpiles. That is a fact. They can't. And what worries me is they're saying this out loud as an excuse to manufacture consent for a nuclear war, for use of nukes, because they cannot physically keep up with the demand. And Israel is going to make use of the Samson option, and Israel is going to push to use these weapons because their protections are not really protecting them anymore. And we're going to go over some of the things that Iran has been able to do along with the resistance. So that's all true. Just because the U.S. is censoring the damage to the American military personnel, the American soldiers, doesn't mean that it's not happening. We just have to look elsewhere. And I think you see that more because you're in Florida, surrounded by, I'm sorry, a lot of these morons and a lot of this like mainstream media bullshit. Like, for me, I just don't do that. I don't watch that. I don't, deal in it. So I don't understand how it's not clear on that level. But what I do think you're right about is the fear of how they're going to retaliate even further. And I think that how they're going to retaliate, because a ground invasion would be impossible for the United States. They're trying to rely on proxies for that. They're going to rely on proxies for anything like
Kurds
that. That's
now,
what
right?
they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which again was a given, but not all Kurds are in favor of that. There's millions and there's various factions, so you can't, they can't just assume that. Now, what I think is their attempt to use nukes on Iran is going to be, I think, is the scariest part, that I think they're pushing for, because they're trying to make it like, oh, look, Iran's very dangerous. Look what they're doing. And now this is, we have to do this. And that's what I'm seeing. They wouldn't admit their weaknesses if they couldn't use their weaknesses to justify a more escalated attack.
What I'm scared about it, what I'm saying is that I've seen a lot of reports. We've seen people like Douglas McGregor, people like Larry Johnson out there talking about how Iran has been successful at hitting a lot of these bases, these U.S. bases in Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and I believe that. What I'm trying to say, the suppression that will be quieted down is the retaliation, the overkill that is coming from the United States, right? And I saw some stuff today that said that they were carpet bombing Tehran. And that's the information I think they're going to try to keep quiet as much as they can. And that's what's upsetting me, right? You know what I'm saying? Because when I spoke to my source in Iran, we had talked, and he had told me, and we'll go through that. But he also told me that the United States was bombing hospitals, because that's what they fucking do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. And then we project that when you see the TV screen, the morons out there who watch Fox News, they pretty much project that, oh, this is what the terrorist regime of Iran is doing, civilian sites that they're hitting. And it's like they're the ones who are doing that, while, Pete Hegseth, when he got cornered today, was like, well, we're still investigating the school that was bombed. What do you mean you're still investigating? That was done on purpose, and we know it was done on purpose. You are the terrorist. You're trying to terrorize them. But let's get into this, fam, because we're already talking about stuff that's in the doc. We got a loaded show for you today. Guys, remember, if you want to go and help out the Convo Couch, there's a lot of work. You want to help out the TruthWire, formerly known as the Convo Couch. I feel like Prince. You can go to our Give, Send, Go right over here. It's givesendgo.com/election integrity matters. But this is more about election integrity. This is to also bring you stories, get information, to get boots on the ground for stories like this. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we really need honest journalism out there. We need citizen journalists as well to repeat and restream and resend out stuff. So help us on out if you can. If you can't help on out, you see that big share button. Get in there and get a share for us. If you can't give, share. Help us out. We appreciate every single dollar. And thank you to all our producers in the chat and all our friends and loved ones who have been with us, riding or dieting with the TruthWire, a.k.a. the Convo Couch, since day one. Fam?
While Pasta makes up for it, I will go ahead and ask you guys, please, if you can't donate, share, because we really want to get some ground coverage of everything that's going on. I mean, I just did a conference this morning with the people of Yemen in the very early hours of the morning, and it was a bunch of activists, and we were all talking about, international law, and I pretty much went off about international law being absolutely just absent, right? There's no international law, and because there's no international law, there's no accuracy in the media, and all these people at home in the United States get to watch a bunch of bullshit. And then they also start funding people online whose stuff gets promoted constantly. And, and it becomes impossible to actually tell the truth. There's a lot of sensationalism coming from a lot of people that, I don't know, some people admire that I don't. Like, there's a lot of mistakes being done by a lot of these Western, podcasters, analysts, that hold a lot of weight, and it's been really annoying me watching it lately.
You mean the ones who went out and supported Donald Trump, fam? Like, they were all the time.
Yeah,
they were front and center going on George Galloway's show talking about, we got to support Donald Trump. They duped you into those fucking people are still getting your attention. You're still giving those people your fucking energy. Have fun with it.
Well,
Sorry, fam. Go ahead.
not just those. Like even McGregor made a very, very bad tweet where he was saying that Iran could attack European cities. Iran will not attack European cities.
Yeah.
Iran will never do that because they have been asked by people multiple times, and it's not in their moral code. Shia Muslims do not act like this. You need to understand. It is a strong belief in that. We have been brainwashed to think that Muslims, jihadism, means jumping off of a plane and bombing everybody. That's not what it is. Jihad was supposed to be a good thing in Shia Muslim. You're thinking about the Sunni Takfiri, Al-Qaeda, ISIS people that were completely bred and created and armed by the United States and the CIA. Yeah. So we need to deprogram a lot of people who, whenever Tehran says, "Hey, guess what? We're going to hold anybody accountable who is attacking Iran, who's facilitating the United States and Israel." If Europe is doing that, which they are, they're going to attack their military installations. They're not going to go and bomb Europe. That's not at the level that we're in, unless they were constantly, and even then, because they don't go after civilians. They don't go after civilians. They haven't gone after civilians this whole time. Only the United States and Israel have been bombing hospitals and schools. That's it. We have been brainwashed to think otherwise. And fam, just hold on. And the reason I'm saying this is because I wanted you all to donate to us, because we like this perspective that's extremely knowledgeable and extremely nuanced and based on actually going on the ground and not just only knowing military strategy or only knowing the money connections or only knowing the activist aspect, but knowing a lot of it and understanding a lot of it. It gives you a different perspective. That's why I'm here on my birthday talking to you all.
Happy birthday! I totally forgot it's Fee's birthday. Totally forgot it's her birthday.
So for my birthday, please.
She's a Pisces. Yes, show the gifts and go one last time. And then I'm going to make a comment, fam, and I want you to respond to it too as well, because I think it's important, right? Because thank you guys. Happy birthday, fam. Vegan succubus. Good to see you, homegirl. Fred Edward, we love you. Where's the t-shirts? Gabrielle, Freedom. Look at all these producers and these studs in the chat. Go share, go like, whatnot.
Thank you guys.
Jump on the Rumble. I was just checking out the Rumble. I shared some stuff on the Rumble. How come there's only 21 people there, guys? Come on, help us out. We know we're not the conservatives. So, fam, when it comes to people like McGregor, right? Like, so there's a difference. There's McGregor, Scott Ritter. I'll throw them in there and whatnot. I don't like a lot of their comments when it comes to certain things. Obviously, Ritter had the situation where he was talking about Iran. I was like, where's this guy coming from? Jamal Thomas was really upset. I think they broke ties over there. McGregor makes statements all the time about the USSR and Stalin, and it makes me want to bite my fucking fist, right? But McGregor is one of the only guys who went to Rescue the Republicans and talk. In Rescue the Republic, he said plain and simple, he goes, I'm just going to tell you this, guys, right now, this government that's getting into play, and this is before Trump was coming in and whatnot, he warned about attacks against Iran, a sovereign nation, he said, that never attacked us. And they're planning this in D.C. right now, right? So he could be good on certain perspectives, but we have to also remember when it comes to Ritter, when it comes to McGregor, they're military men. And they believe a lot of the fucking old school CIA Western talking points that just drive me batshit fucking crazy. Daniel McAdams, friend of mine, love him and stuff like that. When he talks about the Bolsheviks, I roll my fucking eyes. There's a big difference between those people and some of the fucking jerk-off asshole grifters out there. Literally grifters out there who are just doing things for clicks and money. I'll deal with fucking Larry Johnson. I'll deal with McGregor or these guys getting things wrong.
I actually like Larry.
At least I look at them as genuine people. The other fucking people are out there just to make money. Their motivation, and I know this, I worked with a lot of these people, friends with a lot of these people, know them. Their motivation is clicks, is money. So they'll go anywhere with the wind. They're not genuine. That's who I'm talking about. And that's the majority of people who are consuming our media, who've used bots to promote them and lift them up, who have inside, who will definitely get promoted within the algorithm because they're all about agents of chaos and they have tribal mentality. Those are the assholes I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention their names because you fucking know who they are, right? And here's the thing. You had Alex Jones crying with Nick Fuentes how they were so wrong. I got it so wrong, fam, and I can't believe I supported Donald Trump, and please buy my dick pills and whatnot. Had you listened to Alex Jones over the last 2 years, or you listened to the TruthWire over the last 2 years, who would have stirred you right? Who would have told you from the get-go that this fucking Donald Trump, he's not an outsider, that he's more part of the fucking cabal? Who steered you right and who steered you wrong? You have to look at people's principles. You have to look at their integrity. And that's why I could sit here and despite everything I've gone through, whatever we've gone on, whatever's happened with our channel, we can still sit here and say, we have been fucking principled from the start. We haven't lost our principles. We've brought our integrity. Help us out. We want to continue bringing this information for you despite all the censorship we are getting, the shadow banning, the demonetization. Help us out because we're going to be principled for you no matter what. That's why we do this. Sorry, fam. Go ahead.
No, I mean,
Birthday.
look, to be fair, yeah, I mean, I'm not even, yeah, the grifters, of course, but there were a lot of people. I mean, I remember getting into public Twitter spats with Scott about Trump, and he was defending him. So was George Galloway.
Yeah.
I mean, people got blocked over stuff like that, over saying Trump is going to bring, yes.
Scott blocked
not
you?
Ritter. No. Scott doesn't block. Like, Scott doesn't block. No,
Because
that's the thing about Scott. He will argue,
right?
And he will argue back and forth.
I went up to Scott, and it was kind of like he had that look in his face. We had that look, and like, this is the first time we're seeing each other in public since Fee and Scott got into it, knowing that, he knew that we're partners. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, hey, we gave ourselves a little hug. And it was like, all right, but once again, fam, I know he's a military guy, and I know he's going to fucking have these stupid fucking opinions sometimes, even though he can be very reliable when talking about military tactics on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say that. And we need the military to turn against Donald Trump. I mean, effectively, that's not just against Donald Trump, but against the corrupt Epstein, United States of Epstein that is literally there. Because, I mean, what is it? And I'm not just talking about Israel. I'm talking about the Christian Zionists, right? That we need to talk about. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to say that we've taken up a lot of time. If you can donate, do so. For me, it was important to do a show today, to be here, to do something else earlier. And it's very important times. You need to understand how people are so vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
A lot of our friends right now are in vulnerable situations. Mohammed Marandi, Marwa Osman, Vanessa Beeley, they're all in the areas that are getting bombed, and we need to really do whatever we can to make sure that we get the word out, because if we don't do it, I mean, nobody else is going to do it. And again, these are people's lives. This isn't just a game, right? These are people's lives that are at stake, and not just theirs. I mean, they're the ones with a voice and platforms. The people that don't have one, we've seen so many stories, endless stories about entire families. I mean, Ali Khamenei's entire family was basically wiped out, like in one instance, right? And he didn't run away. He didn't run away like Netanyahu runs away, like a little scared rat, running away into Greece and then into Germany, leaving his people behind. There's a difference.
Yeah. Guys, we want to show you one more time. Jayme, if you can put it on up, the Give, Send, Go. It is Fiorella's birthday today. Help us out. Show us some love. Go on over here. We put the links in the chat. BL, Open Space, Ake, whatever. He says, fam, that I am his favorite gay dude on the entire internet. Let's go. I am ready for it. Thank you so much. I am happy to be your favorite gay dude on the internet. I wear that badge proudly. And fam, I remember when I turned 26 years old too as well. So that's really cool. Happy birthday. Let's get into it because there's a lot of stuff. And by the way, you Durkin, thank you so much. Just jumped on in. We also had TD, old school person, fam. TD, old school. Look at him.
Oh, wow.
We're so fucking blessed to have some of you guys around from the get-go. I mean, we have Fred and Gabrielle in the chat, monitoring it, holding it down. They're like producers, friends, loved ones, fam. They were the ones that we started this whole thing calling fam. And we love the fact that our fam is here with us. Let's get into this. Let's talk about this because this is very important because there's a lot of bullshit going on the mainstream media with the idiots watching on Fox News, fam. But it does concern me because I was watching Fox. I put on Fox and then CNN and MSN and all those channels, and I was running back in here to my room to look at what's going on the computer, on the internet. So different. It's like you're watching two different movies, and yet you're still talking about the same place. Let's get into it, because right now I think there is definitely an attempt to suppress the numbers of American troops that have been killed. And the thing that I saw McGregor, I saw Larry Johnson, those two people in particular, Larry Johnson, ex-CIA, talking about the United States, their bases in these Gulf states effectively being hit by Iran. You mentioned, I think, in the beginning of the show, there's a lot of other people who've done some great work out there. The fact is that Iran was lobbing a lot of cheap missiles, over to these Gulf states and these bases. So the Americans would spend all these money on these Patriots. In other words, a missile that might cost $250,000 from Iran, it took $40 million worth of Patriots to shoot it down. They understand the mathematics of that. And meanwhile, there's talk of people getting their Social Security checks cut to fund this war. Somebody's going to pay for it, and it's you, the American people. You're going to still be fooled into this bullshit all the time. So here's the information that came out as far as how many deaths there were in the United States. They talked about this yesterday. I think it was 3. Go ahead, Jayme. You can throw it on up. It was 3 people that they talked about that were getting killed. With heavy hearts, we announced the deaths of 4 U.S. Army Reserve soldiers supporting Operation Epic Fury on March 1st. We honor the fallen heroes who served fearlessly and selflessly in defense of our nation. In fucking Iran. Iran, Iraq, it's the whole story all over again. Lieutenant General Robert Harder, Chief of Army Reserve. And then you have the pictures of the 4. And right below it, go ahead and scroll down, Jayme. Right below it, that right there is the full press release. So that's what they talked about. So I saw that yesterday, and then I got a call from a source of mine in Iran, in Tehran. And the first thing I said, "Are you okay?" Person said, "Doing fine. I'm okay." Moved outside of Tehran on the outer skirts, could hear the bombing. And when that source told me, I said, "Well, listen, they reported on the TV." Jayme, get ready for the next clip. My tweet. That person reported to me. I said, "Listen, my friend, they said that there's four U.S. members, service members have been killed. What are you hearing over there?" He goes, "Man, Iranian media is saying close to 800 U.S. troops." Jayme, get it up. 800 U.S. troops, right?
Get his up, yeah.
800 U.S. personnel have either seriously been wounded or killed. By the way, fam, I'm almost at 600,000. That's going to be my second most viewed tweet of all times, behind the RFK tweet when I caught him way before October 7th, talking about his love for Israel. 800 U.S. personnel have been either seriously wounded or killed. And it looks like we're going to be in this propaganda war moving forward. Nico House even said, he made a video after too as well. He goes, he knows that the U.S. is going to suppress their numbers of dead because he knows that that's what's going to keep these people flying off the rails. Is my microphone working?
Yeah.
It says my microphone's a little off. Is that true?
I don't know. For me, it's okay, but I'm not one of those audiophiles, so.
All right, I'm going to come in and come out and stuff. But fam, please make a comment on this, because this is something we see. And do you have something below it? I think there's another clip or something. Go ahead, put that next clip up.
You can put that one up. So again, along the same lines, Arya J is quote tweeting this person. U.S. military contractors are urgently hiring for personal effects of dead U.S. soldiers. For dead soldiers, they wouldn't need to rehire urgently. This is proof that CENTCOM is lying about casualties from Iranian attacks. Actually, Fox News, somebody was starting to admit that there was, I don't think it was Fox, more dead. This lady says, not a good sign for the United States that Dover AFB is urgently hiring people to sort through the personnel effects of dead soldiers. Click on it so I can, I'll try to read it from there. If you can, if not, let me do it actually right here.
Make it big. Yeah, you go.
Okay. So joint technology solution, 1566 an hour. Seriously? In this economy? Joint technology solution, JTS, a veteran-owned government contracting company, is currently hiring staff to process personal effects at Dover Air Force Base. We are currently seeking part-time on-call personal effects specialists to support, receive, safeguard, inventory, store, process, and make final disposition of personal effects of military and civilian casualties from overseas. Tasks include perform all tasks related to the receipt, safeguarding, inventory, storage, process, and shipping of personal effects, clean and launder personal items as appropriate and in preparation for shipping, provide digital photography for documentation of personal effects, receive and ship personal effects to the family members, next of kin of all military service members and others who are killed or severely injured worldwide. This makes me so upset, because as much as I hate the US military and I hate, what the United States government is doing, a lot of the people that go into this because they don't have money, or because they want student loan forgiveness, or because they want to have a decent job, and they're hiring people, paying them a shit wage to go through all their possessions, and they're hiring them very rapidly, right? So what Pasta's saying, what I'm getting to on my end, is that these numbers are way higher than they are letting people know in the United States, and that should make people upset. And I'm not just talking about everybody here, but I'm talking about non-political people who have family in the military, because every American, I'm sure, has somebody they know that's in the military, right? Because our military is so vast, it's so big, there's so much money that's funded into it, that obviously you're going to know somebody that's in the military. So if they're lying to people, and we can figure that, and we can expose that, and we can actually expose that there are now close probably to 1,000 at least, because we're already getting that numbers went up from the IRGC, that they're at 800 yesterday, and that was late yesterday their time. So now that it's what time is it there? It's 9:00 their time. The numbers are growing every single day. Okay, so I'm trying to say that if it's exposed that the United States government is 100% diminishing the numbers, which I 100% think they are, because everybody diminishes their numbers. Breaking news: every country during war diminishes their numbers. Russia does it. Ukraine does it. Ukraine does it to an extreme. Syria did it during the war. They did it a little bit. They do it a little bit, but we're talking about doing it to an excess amount, because you don't want to show the population how bad things are. This is reality. So if we know that everybody diminishes their mortality rate for the public, then you can rest assured that this happened. Also, if we look back to Venezuela and the injured and the dead U.S. soldiers, they also diminished those numbers, because according to sources in Venezuela, there are a lot more people that died on the U.S. side and that sustained injuries that they didn't even talk about. So this isn't the first time. It's not the last. People have to question, and I just did a Substack on this, and I titled it, "Are you willing to die for the Epstein empire?" How many of you are willing to die for that? How many of you are willing to have a family member die from that, for Zionists, for the Epstein cabal, for these psychos that we're going to talk about, think that Trump is the second coming of Jesus? I'm not. I don't think most people I know are, and even if they are Trump supporters, though, this is actually something that would turn people against him. Do you think that, Pasta? Because I think 100%
I do. But still, ultimately, and this is something I was talking about with Matt Weinglass the other day, and I was telling him, Matt, this is where we have our big differences, right? When we talk about Charlie Kirk, at the end of the day, the majority of people in the United States are going to still look at this as a religious war. This is Christianity versus Islam. And they spent a lot of time over the last couple of years. The way they spend money on demonizing socialism, demonizing Stalin, right? A lot of people still like to demonize Stalin to this day, because they want to sell you that American empire at the end of the day will always be a better choice, the lesser of two evils, no matter what. So even though we drop bombs on innocent civilians, it's still better than what's going on, what was going on with the Soviet Union. You got to buy into capitalism. You got to buy into Christianity, because what's going on with Mohammed and whatnot, they're the true evil. Charlie Kirk, a week before he died, was still selling that bullshit, that the big threat is, and even though you can posture, and a lot of people are doing this, oh, Israel is bad. We shouldn't be doing what Israel's doing. They're getting all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if it's Christianity versus Islam, and Islam is evil, and they're tying it to this Marxist wokeism, like they're tying this all together, and that's what Charlie did. That's the enemy. And I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this to shit on Charlie Kirk, whatnot. I mean, once again, I didn't celebrate his death. I'm not all about that. And it's a shame for the loved ones around him to have to go through what they're going through. But he's still settled on this position where a lot of Americans settle, fam, that if this is versus Islam and we're Christians, Christianity versus Islam, let's do it. They'll say they'll consent to it. In other words, so no matter, even though they get pissed off at the end of the day, they still look at them as evil, dirty Muslims that want to kill us, and they say, "Death to America! Death to America! Death to America!" That's a video I think we clipped up, right, Jayme? And we're going to eventually get it out there, and we'll talk about it. And there's meaning to that and stuff like that. But once again, you got to remember the American voter, fam. Very simple-minded, very myopic, very consumed. So they're going to buy this shit because they're buying it right now. They're still going out there every single day. Instagram models are still making video. There's still food stuff going on. People are still laughing, right? They're still talking about baseball coming around. There's sports going on. They're not really fucking down to earth to what's going on, the death and destruction that we're causing outside the realm, outside the areas of the United States. And that is the biggest problem.
I agree with you, but I think when people start dying, when your family members start dying, when you can't get gas, when things start piling up, and there is more exposure now via social media, I think that is actually a potential for change. I don't think the United States government, the people are in a position where they're happy with the current economic situation. And you can talk to normies about that, and they will tell you 100% the economy is not doing good. There is a sector of the population, the MAGA, that will follow whatever Trump says, that are very religious and that will promote this idea. But that idea of Muslims are coming to kill us has fallen apart bit by bit after Gaza, because everybody saw who was killing these kids in Gaza. Everybody saw that. And
Yeah.
that did do something. Unfortunately, it took a fucking genocide for some people to see, but it wasn't even enough, because we're still here, right? And we're moving towards it. I don't have the biggest amount of faith in the American public, but there is a certain level that is going to hit eventually where people do end up suffering a little bit, because everybody else suffers all the time. We don't in the United States. We get to ignore it. And that's by design, because you want to keep that comfort. They want you to keep your Netflix, your Uber Eats. They want you to, not look at this stuff, because if you look at this stuff, then you can't exist. It's hard. It's hard for those of us that do it every day, because you can't go back. Like, you already know this stuff is there. So you're like, oh, okay, you can't go back. But I will say that Gen Z, like I said last time, is actually becoming a lot more aware earlier than millennials were, and they are a lot more radicalized. They're getting radicalized by everything that's happening. The question is where they're going to take this radicalization, right? We can't let them take this to the Democratic Party. We can't let them take this to AOC, IA. Like,
Yeah.
we can't do that. And that's what they're trying to do.
That's what they're trying. Move. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's already on the way. But people like us have to fight back against that, But this is a big deal, I think.
Speaking of that, fam, and let me just speak about that real quick, because it's on the TV screens, on the Fox News, right? So Fox News yesterday was showing a tweet from Donald Trump. It's the radical left, fam. The radical left, they're radical. And they don't care of these people. They are crazy. They're trying to stop me from defending the United States from radical Muslims who want to kill us. And they say death to America. And now they're on the floor. They had the Senate hearing, the Senate, whatever you call it, arms committee, and they came out and all the senators are screaming whatnot. Meanwhile, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer made sure that the War Powers Act didn't get to the floor before this happened. In other words, Thomas Massey wanted to float something to make sure that people got on record for where they stand on this. They made sure it didn't get to the floor. And this is the Democrats who did that. Now they're grandstanding and acting like they're against Donald Trump the whole time. Meanwhile, they fell asleep on purpose and let this happen. They made sure nobody was on record that this would happen, and then they can oppose it after. Yet they're down for the same actions no matter what. And that's what we got going on. So be prepared, because Gavin Newsom, handsome Newsom, and the Democrats are going to be swinging around looking like your saviors again. And that was really disappointing. Last night was election night. I believe Crockett, Crenshaw, and I forgot his name, all lost yesterday. There was 3 people. Eye Patch McCain is out. Jasmine Crockett lost. What's the guy who held the sign? I forgot his name. With the ponytail. Black dude with the ponytail. I believe he lost his primary. But that's the thing yesterday. We're still caught in this 2-party duopoly. And that was the sad thing about yesterday, why I didn't pay attention to it. Because I know our election systems are flawed as can be, and they still have us in this 2-party system altogether. Even Nick Fuentes was saying, we got to vote for the Democrats to stop his government because they're going to grind it to a halt. No, you don't buy back into the same system. The Democrats are not coming to save you. The whole system needs to be rejected. This is why when Misty Winston and Fiorella say, hey, we need to get outside the electoral process, there's something to be said about that. Now, if you want to play both and try that and say, I'm going to hold them to the marketing, so be it. But understand what you're up against. Understand the cheating that's going on. Understand they're trying to get you to play the same game over and over again. It's like momentum. Republicans bad. Here comes the Democrats. It's like Obama all over again, fam. Hope and change. The peace president. Was he the peace president, fam?
But that's the point of people like Nick Fuentes. Don't get your advice from Nick Fuentes. He's also a grifter. He's not, he changes his tune to be to be like edgy and to be whatever. Like don't get your advice from people like that. Like you don't listen to people like that because they're not serious. They're not, they want people riled up and in the dramatics and playing the game. That's it. They're not serious about actually changing things. That's the reality. I want to talk about these major setbacks for the United States, because I think a lot of people might not be aware of this. So you can pull that up, Jayme. There was confirmation of new satellite images that were claimed by the IRGC that Iran struck an American AN/FPS 132, an early warning radar in the U.S. based Qatar. This early warning radar is extremely important for the United States. It's one of the most advanced ones, and damaging to this one is going to make it nearly impossible for the U.S. to intercept the ballistic missiles from Iran. Like, this is actually a real thing. A lot of people are talking about it. It's extremely important, and the IRGC announced it a while back, but now it's been confirmed. They announced it the very first day. So that's another thing that, the Americans aren't really talking about with 100% clarity. And there are some other high value assets that were also destroyed in the next one. So some of these were destroyed or damaged. The radars in Bahrain, the 3 radios in our Fahan base in Kuwait, a THAAD radar at the UAE, another one in Jordan, another one in Qatar, the FPS in Qatar. And there were other building structures related to satellite communications in Kuwait, and one other one also in Saudi Arabia. So there's images there that you can see with the damage and the label. So this is coming directly from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So that's what they're saying. They've been so methodical about it, kind of like what we saw from the Russian Defense Ministry whenever they would talk about like the labs and all of that. They had like all these pictures and graphics. They're being extremely detailed. Are the United States being extremely detailed and forthcoming? Have you ever known the U.S. Army to be very forthcoming with the information? They're not. So when people ask, like, who are you going to believe? Well, I'm not going to believe the people that lied about, everything about the Iraq war, and that had to be exposed by WikiLeaks in order to tell the truth. And even then, they still haven't told the truth. So yeah, I'm not going to buy what the United States is selling, guys, and neither should you, and neither should anybody right now that has people getting involved in this war. So again, these are things that a lot of people aren't getting told. And the last thing I want to bring up before I hand it off to you, Pasta, is Larry Johnny. Larry Johnny went off and at Donald Trump, and he said, Mr. Trump, driven by Netanyahu's recklessness, has dragged the American people into a cowardly war with Iran. And now let's do the math. With the deaths of more than 500 American soldiers in these few days, is America still first or is Israel first? The story isn't over yet. The martyrdom of Imam Khomeini will cost you a heavy price, God willing.
So Donald Trump was asked that question by a reporter in the White House sitting around there, and he's like, no, we dragged them in. Did Israel drag you in? No, we dragged Israel in. That's what he's saying. That's his response back. But I did watch a little bit of The Five yesterday on Fox, and it was just disgusting to see the way they stood up for him and protected him on this situation. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have this media just to play team sports. And like I said, it was more disappointing seeing the way he was protected and whatnot. By the way, when you talk about these satellite images, whatnot, right, and these are the points of contention, and Douglas McGregor, Larry Johnson had said, Iran has effectively hit these bases and destroyed these satellite information. Now, the thing that people have to understand is that, and this is why when we need to get some military people on here to talk about it, is that United States shows a lot of times when they're destroying, actual launch spots. In fact, I think there's a lot of video out there right now where the Iranians duped them and they put paintings on the ground, and they were bombing paintings on the ground thinking they were helicopters and all these things they're taking out. The Iranian drone force and missile force, ballistic missile force, is mobile. In other words, these drones are hard to find and get a hold of them and shoot them down, especially now that these satellites have been hit, the one in Bahrain, the one in Qatar, right? One of these systems is supposedly the major satellite system for tracking missiles coming in for our defense missiles to hit. And now that we take that out, I think that McGregor made the comment, we're flying blind now, right? Now you can't see them. The fact is that they've been preparing for a war for quite some time. So even though there might be serious retaliations and carpet bombing going on by the United States, don't think for 1 second that Iran is done. They've been preparing for this for quite some time. And the way they are mobile with their rockets, the way they are mobile with their drones, pretty much taking a truck and launching it out from wherever, it's going to be hard for the United States to stop. And I've seen plenty of videos of drones hitting American bases. So don't think for 1 second that this is over, that the Americans, despite what they're telling you on TV, are just going to wipe them off the face of the earth, and that's it. And I hope to God, fam, for the tactics they are using, Pete Hegseth is now still dodging the questions about why the first missile that you dropped killed a bunch of women in a school. We're still investigating. It was like Gaza was the blueprint for them to do this. They desensitized everybody, and now Americans are okay with this. We need to start speaking up. This is bullshit. Here's Marco Rubio going back and forth, fam, and I'd like to get your comments on this over here.
You told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked.
Okay. No, were you the one that? Because somebody asked me a question yesterday. Did we go in because of Israel? And I said, you were asking me that follow up, and I said no. I told you this had to happen anyway. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed.
Okay, so that's the opposite of what he was just asked. No, I didn't say that. And Donald Trump has a different story. You just said we knew that Israel was going to go in and that would precipitate an attack against the United States. So we went in before they can do anything. He literally said that, fam. And this is something 40 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about if he would resign. We would be talking about when he would have to resign. But we're in a different world nowadays, and they get away with whatever they want because there's no pushback by the citizenry. Your thoughts?
People get caught up like in the Israel, who controls who. I don't think Israel controls the United States. I think the United States is part of this international class. That's, it's not akin to just nation states. And I think Israel is the U.S. does need Israel in the Middle East to be its, like as RFK Jr. said, what did he say? It's the U.S. basically military base in the region, and I think that's important. What I'm not for is for a lot of people saying that Israel has the U.S. hostage and that Trump is a victim and that they have no control, and the United States just, if they could just free themselves from Israel, everything will be fine. No, because if the United States just frees themselves from Israel, you're still going to have all these crazy Christians, that fundamentalists essentially, or you're going to have a lot of these radical like neoliberals and neocons without Israel. Like, so I mean, it almost feels like a way to get the US to just not have any accountability. And this is why I see a lot of the right pushing that. Like the Tucker Carlsons, a lot of like the people, some of the military people pushing it, like, no, it's not just us, it's Israel. Israel is doing all of that. No, but who literally funds Israel? We do. Yeah. We don't want to stop. So what does Israel have like that, like without us? And it's being proven right now, and it was proven during the 12-day war. Without us, Israel would fall apart. They wouldn't have the Iron Dome. They wouldn't have the money. They wouldn't have the weapons. How would they succeed? It's not about Israel. Zionism and this ideology of supremacy that's pretty much spread everywhere, that idea is evil. And it's similar to the fascist ideology that existed and never left during World War II, right? That led to World War II. All of that, guys, is to say this is beyond nation states. So don't, like, for me, it's like, oh, if we just get rid of Israel, the United States is good. The United States was funded on genocide and killing. And I know people hate it when we remind people of that, but it was. And so how are you going to say that it's Israel? You know, Great Britain taught the United States how to be in that sense. But Great Britain actually understands like the culture of like, say, the Middle East, because they occupied it for much longer than we did. And this is why Iran is able to study for the last 30, 40 years what's been going on. And they've been able to really make a dent. And again, that's what scares me, is the retaliation from the United States and Israel is going to go to the next level. So we have
it's going to be its poor people too as well. And like, there's somebody in the chat that mentioned the fact that they think this is more of a class war than it is religious war, because it's all poor people who are being killed and slaughtered, just like they were in Gaza. And fam, at the very least, when we talk about this whole situation, when people just try to blame Israel as the ones pulling the strings and we're just captured, right? People will say that all the time. Our system's been captured. Like, no, it's not. Our system is doing what it's supposed to be doing, because that's what they meant it to be doing. They just duped you the whole time. They gave you all this bullshit marketing, right? That was all about, it's about the people's choice and what's going on. And, we're about due process and, all these other things, freedom of speech that they don't have anywhere else. We don't let authoritarians come in and make decisions. That's what separates us from everybody else. Now they want to say that Epstein, he just, once again, was part of Israel capturing the United States. No, at the very least, the United States was an accomplice, right, fam? You taught me that word yesterday. We talked about this. And they walked hand in hand. And at the end of the day, aside from Israel and their people making a lot of money, there's a lot of people who have been in control of the West for quite some time who have made a shit ton of money. If you just look at the book, right, and it's a small book, War is a Racket by Smedley Butler, it's not just the bombs that are dropped. When you move soldiers all around, you got to feed them, clothe them. There are so many different ways that American corporations that get these no-bid contracts make a shit ton of money. How much does Pepsi charge for a can of soda overseas that all the troops got to drink and whatnot? I mean, just think about it. War is a racket, and there's many people to be making money. It's not just Israel. And I think we just kind of get lost in that sauce by blaming Israel as Israel pulling on the strings. Meanwhile, they're leaking all that information out, and people are running with it, fam. The ruling class only lets you see what they want you to see. That's plain and simple. So they want this rhetoric out there of you blaming Israel, while they behind the scenes are also part of the death and destruction and making a ton of money. And at the end of the day, they hope that Israel will be the fall guy, and they'll get to reinvent themselves somewhere else, do it again, and start this shit all over again.
I want to show a comment. Can you take out the war in Iran banner, Jayme?
Just,
I
yeah,
wanna
you
show
click on the
this comment.
comment.
So Friendly Brilliant said, when my cousin came home from the army, he said people would be shocked at what we were doing over there before he committed suicide. This is I'm sorry about that, Friendly, but you know,
We
this
love
is a
you, Ruth.
very common story, you know. Very, very common story, unfortunately, for a lot of people. And this is, again, are we going to repeat the war in Iraq? Are we going to repeat the war in Afghanistan? Are we going to continue repeating these wars where a lot of people with, you know, normal backgrounds get sent over there? No, we should send the Trump kids. We should send the Trump grandchildren. And that's never going to happen. Unless, you know, there's something that's actually changes radically, right? This is the reality. It is a class war. It is a class war against us, essentially, because even though you're supposedly going out there dying for your country, you're dying for the empire, and the empire doesn't care about you. So,
And the fact that, you know, like that we're not storming the Capitol right now, pitchforks aren't out there, and Donald Trump is just sending more people to die. It's kind of crazy. Curtis Sliwa, who ran as a Republican in the governor race here in New York, not here in New York, there in New York. By the way, I'll be on WBAI at 4 p.m. Eastern today. If you want to call in, it's going to be an explosive show. I know that. We encourage you to do so. But he was even asked the other day, should you ever trust a politician? He goes, no, don't. You shouldn't trust me. You should hold me accountable. And Donald Trump said he was going to end all these wars, and now we're in more wars than ever before. I believe we just bombed Ecuador yesterday too, fam.
yeah.
A lot of people's not talking about either. It's crazy to me, and it's even more crazy that people are just taking it laying down. We're the poor people of this country. You know what I'm saying? Bolshevik revolution style. March to the Capitol. Get your fucking pitchforks out because it's crazy, and it's about to get even worse because I believe they are suppressing these numbers. I'd like to know what the law is on how long they can suppress the information of a soldier dying. Are they let the not tell the parents for like a week or whatnot? Because a lot of people were making comments under my tweet that I said I spoke to a friend about the 800 soldiers being dead. What the Iranian media is reporting, like, oh, the mothers and fathers would have been screaming out. What if they suppress that information? How long can they hold on to that information? That's something interesting to look on. What legally do they have the right to keep it quiet? Because we know Americans coming home in body bags and the coffins draped with the American flags is what really gets people emotional here in the United States. They want to suppress that information. But the more that happens, the worse it's going to be. Now, what really can make that situation bad, and we're going to bring up this tweet, is that Donald Trump has announced that he is going to have the Navy escort. Go ahead, Jayme, put it up. He's going to have the Navy escort. Go down to the actual tweet real quick for let's click on that first. And then we'll read Colonel McGregor's comment. Fam, Donald Trump said, effective immediately, I have ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation, the DFC, to provide at a very reasonable price. I mean, he's fucking selling you shit in the middle of a fucking statement, this guy. He's the worst. Political risk insurance and guarantees for the financial security of all maritime trade, especially energy, traveling through the Gulf. This will be available to all shipping lines. If necessary, the United States Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. No matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. The United States' economic and military might is the greatest on earth, fam. The likes that no one's ever seen. More actions to come. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. By the way, China. Colonel McGregor responds, Donald Trump has just announced that the United States Navy will escort shipping through the Straits of Hormuz. We talked to Mohammed Barandi yesterday. He told us that the Strait of Hormuz, 33 kilometers. They have 33 kilometers in which they can pass through. It's shut down. From land, Iran can control that. If so, we are bringing our forces in range of the enemy's missiles. Not smart.
This is a tweet I had a problem with.
Yeah, because he says the enemy. Iran threatens to strike European cities. We will consider the defensive actions of European states. Can you scroll down, Jayme?
This is what I thought was the bad tweet.
Okay. Iran threatens to strike European cities. We'll consider the defensive actions of the European states in context of the U.S. and Israeli operations as an act of war, the Iranian Foreign Ministry stated. If the Iranian, how do you say that? Khorramshahr, I don't know what that is, really does fly 3,000 kilometers, the Iranian missiles could reach Bulgaria and Romania, where American bases are located, as well as Ukraine and Moldova, Defense Express previously reported. Now, he is talking about hitting American bases, though, fam. No, but you still have problems with the tweet. But you can see
he said to Iran threatening Europeans to hit European cities, and they've never done that. You can even see in the quote what they talked about. They're talking about if European states are participating, then yeah, Iran is going to respond. But he's not saying they're going to respond to, like, he's making it look like Iran's going to hit Europe, like Paris. Yeah. Like, that's not what Iran's going to do.
The Strait of Hormuz is right here. You can see how thin it is. There's like no, I mean, they can control that area from the ground. You start sending aircraft carriers through there or anything else to escort these people, it's going to get hit. It's going to get bombed, right? So this is something I can't believe that he's kind of stated this, but this is kind of crazy. If he's really going to try to have the Navy escort ships through this area, I don't know, fam. That could be like next level shit, because I think they'll sink an aircraft carrier and forget about it. Anti-war, if you put up antiwar.com, Jayme, the article, and we scroll down in it to where obviously it says President Trump. Scroll down a little bit. I want to get to the part where it talks about, keep going. Okay, a little bit more. Here it is, fam, right there. Jabaria, the advisor to the commander of the IRGC, has warned that Iranian forces will attack any ship that tries to transit through the Strait of Hormuz. The strait is closed. If anyone tries to pass, the heroes of the Revolutionary Guard and the regular Navy will set those ships ablaze. Several tankers have been hit by drones since the U.S. and Israel launched the war, and leading maritime insurers have begun canceling war risk insurance coverage for ships operating in the Gulf. So, fam, they've said that they're going to hit it. Anybody tries to go through there, they're going to hit it. I don't know if this is really going to happen, if Donald Trump is just talking shit, but this looks like it could be something very, very serious. I don't know. Please, go ahead, fam.
I mean, they're going to hit it. So I don't know. They're going to hit the ships. They're going to hit anybody assisting the United States. That's what they're going to do. That's it. I mean, if Donald Trump actually does that, that's up to him. They've unleashed the fury of Iran by this. You know, Iran's now, there was an opportunity for negotiations, but now, especially with killing Khamenei, no, people are more determined to see this through. So
all over Fox News this morning, fam, was a submarine hitting a vessel. And they say it's the first time, you know how they like to talk about these things, the historian. Fam, it's the first time that a submarine has sunk a vessel since World War II. Like, they love bringing that shit up.
Yeah, so this one, the U.S. submarine sank an Iranian warship off of Sri Lanka, killing at least 80 and leaving
international waters, by the way.
Yeah, and so basically the point of this is that they sunk a ship that has nothing to do with the war. It's technically this was in Sri Lanka. I mean, they're breaking so many international laws, but U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed that the United States had torpedoed a vessel in international waters during a press conference on the war in Iran. He said the Iranian Navy rests at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Like, you know, and he calls it the Islamic Republic's prize ship. He claimed it marked the first time an enemy vessel has been sunk since the Second World War, blah, 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 blah. Like, there was no need to actually do that. But they did it, and that's fine. But Iran will retaliate. And again, people in Iran are, fighting this with their lives and their land, their territory. You know, this war is not just a visual thing. Like, it's actually happening, and people are dying on both sides, right? So,
yeah. Jayme, put up the title again, just so people can see the title at the top of the page too, as well. That's because they didn't get that. Just put up, yeah. U.S. submarine sinks Iranian warship off Sri Lanka, killing at least 80 and leaving dozens more injured. So that was the news all over today. They were bragging about that, fam, even though it was off the coast of Sri Lanka. I mean,
which has nothing to do anywhere near. It's nowhere geographically near. But hey, Americans wouldn't know anything about geography, would we?
No, we wouldn't.
So.
Guys, we want you to help us out. Let's throw the gift sent. The submarine crew left the boat crew to drown. Yeah, they do that all the time, Gonzo. Socialism. I mean, we had something where it was off the coast of, was it off the coast of Costa Rica, fam? I think it was. And they pretty much took 48 hours before they can go and try to help the survivors that were clinging onto the boat. And they drowned. They wanted to kill them. And that's what they want to do right now. We are the terrorists, right? We're the one terrorizing everywhere. And it's sad because that's what the things we're supposed to be against, right? We're not supposed to be just indiscriminately killing civilians and people on a regular basis, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to terrorize these people. And that's what Donald Trump was brought in to do. Because he can convince you idiots that follow him that what he's doing is justified and it's needed. Remember, we thought, a lot of independents was like, all these politicians and these career politicians are taking advantage of Americans and their tax dollars. They're getting us into senseless wars, and all these other countries are taking advantage of us. Now it's all these countries are taking advantage of us, so we're going to bomb them. It's completely different than what he campaigned on, what he talked about. Peace through strength is not peace through strength. It's murder through strength. And it's not peace. It's disgusting. So anyways, guys, we want to thank you all for coming in today and joining us. Remember, if you want to help on out, if you want to give some love for Fiorella's birthday, happy birthday, Fee, from Anna Ringwald, another old school person. I mean, there's so many old school people here, guys. Conzo Socialism, Anna Ringwald. Jayme, go ahead and throw up our Give, Send, Go. Please, guys, go on over to our Give, Send, Go. We see we got a couple of shares since we started the show. We love that. If you can't give, share. We're going to put the links in the chat. I'm going to do it over on the Rumbles. Go ahead and help us out if you guys can. Leave $1, leave $2, leave $5, leave 20, leave 100, leave whatever you can. It's going to help the TruthWire get our boots on the ground. We got a lot of things planned, a lot of things coming up, and we want to be able to get there for you. There's a lot of stories that cover, and we need actual honest journalism there, and that's what we are here to do. So please go on over, help us out. If you can't give, hit that share button, share it on out. And remember, it's Fiorella's birthday today, so you can leave a birthday heart and a message so we know that day that you gave for her birthday. Fam,
think of it as a super chat because we don't have super chats. So think of it as a super chat, because a lot of people have that. We don't even have that opportunity because they won't monetize our channel. So think of it as that,
Super chat over on the Give, Send, Go.
Give, Send, Go.
Yeah. What do we got next? We have Rumble rants. Where? I don't see any Rumble rants. We don't have any Rumble rants.
No, I'm saying you can send us Rumble rant.
Oh, okay.
You can't do a super chat, but you can do a Rumble rant.
All right. So you wanted to talk about the war being sold out as religious prophecy, right? There is this danger in Christian Zionism. They're selling it to people, as Pasta said earlier, as this religious thing. And with the killing of Imam Khomeini, this really actually they did that on purpose, because what it does is actually make it like that, because the people are saying they're going to avenge his death because of who he met, or how significant he was for the people. And they're more determined to fight and more into it. So the Americans take that and they go with it, and they're like, look, these people are crazy. They're going to plot a revenge. They're going to come after us. We need to defeat Shia Islam, when Shia Islam is one of the most peaceful religions that I've seen practice in pretty much everywhere that I've been where it's practiced. I mean, it's conservative to a certain degree, but it's extremely nonviolent and rooted in this nonviolent kind of reality. But it is being sold to voters and troops as a religious war. So, fam, you have something, but I'm just going to read Proud Socialist's tweet where he says over 100 complaints were filed against U.S. commander for telling officers, and you're going to go deep into this, in a briefing that the Iran war is part of God's plan and Trump was anointed by Jesus to cause Armageddon and mark Jesus' return to earth. This war is a full-on Christian terrorism. I laugh at this because to me it's absolute lunacy, but go on.
Yeah. I mean, I did have another story I wanted to bring to the table today. I'm going to bring it on Friday. I got all the information. It's, I forgot what it's called. It's called the liturgical calendar. Have you heard of it? It's the calendar that the Christians and Catholics use. So wherever you're at, whether you be in a Catholic or a Christian church in Kenya, or you be in Boca Raton, or you're in the West Coast, they follow a certain calendar. So you're going to get the same homily, right? The same type of scripture they're going to talk about, especially around holidays. They make sure they talk about around the same scriptures. I'm going to bring something to the table on Friday because I just got the information about what was told the day we went into Iran, right? Throughout all the Christian churches and the Catholic churches, they did some scripture, which was the scripture that Huckabee uses when he talks about that we need to fight for the Jewish land and for the Jewish people, that they're the chosen ones. So we're going to bring that to the table on Friday and show you some more information about it. But this is what was out there too as well. There have been complaints, right, that the troops were told, Jayme, let's put it up. Troops were told the Iran war is for Armageddon and the return of Jesus.
Fuck's sake.
Keep a straight face, fam. They were told Iran war is for Armageddon and the return of Jesus. Now, it's one thing for these pastors to get on TV and tell all the American people there and that's stupid. It's another thing to tell the military that. Let's scroll down and read a little bit of this. A combat unit commander told non-commissioned officers at a briefing Monday.
Can you scroll?
Jayme.
There.
We ready? A combat unit commander told non-commissioned officers at a briefing Monday that the Iran war is part of God's plan and that President Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark the return to Earth, his return to Earth, according to a complaint by a non-commissioned officer. From Saturday morning through Monday night, more than 110 similar complaints about commanders in every branch of the military have been logged by the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. The complaints came from more than 40 different units spread across at least 30 military installations, the MRFF told me Monday night. The MRFF, which is the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, is keeping the complaints anonymous to prevent retribution by the Defense Department. The Pentagon did not immediately respond to my request for comment. One complaint identified themselves as a non-commissioned officer in a unit currently outside the Iran combat zone, but in the ready support status, deployable at any time. The NCO said they were Christian and emailed the MRFF on behalf of 15 troops, including at least 11 Christians, 1 Muslim, and 1 Jew. The NCO wrote to the MRFF that the commander are urged to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan. And he specifically referenced numerous citations of the book of Revelation, referring to the Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ, fam.
Jesus doesn't want you blowing up little girls and kids. I don't know. Exactly. I never thought I would have to say this, but bombing and starving kids is bad. Yeah, Jesus was a Palestinian.
When you can make yourself the victim, when you can use religion and weaponize it in any way you would, you can kill anybody innocently. This is how they're getting away with things in Gaza, right? These are Muslims. We're Christians. We're fighting for Christianity. I mean, this is not Christ-like for all you Christians out there who believe there's a war against Muslims, right? This is so stupid, to be honest with you. I mean, this is dumb, and this is what we're dealing with on a regular basis, fam.
Oh God. You know, these people would have seen baby Jesus and they would have kicked him out left him in the cold.
Because he didn't come here legally.
And they called him like, yeah, an alien, illegal alien or something. That's what would have happened. I mean, you know. Anyway, I still think Jared Kushner is the Antichrist. But
He could be. Guys, remember, if you want to help out, Give, Send, Go. It's there. We just got another donation, so it's really, really awesome. Maybe we can put it up. It's from Pedro, fam. Your fan. Pedro, fam. Pedro left some love. Yeah. He left some love. Pedro said, as soon as we get it up,
vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro.
Where is it?
Wait for Jayme.
Jesus was a radical left.
Jayme has not had his coffee yet this morning. It's kind of obvious.
I didn't have my coffee. I'm so tired. I've been up since the crack of dawn.
$10, and that was 3 minutes ago. Fee, I love you. Pasta, you're pretty cool too. I'll take it, Pedro. Keep up the good work. You guys are second to none, and that's N-O-N-E. Second to none. Guys, thank you so much. If you want to go and help and send some love, go to that Give, Send, Go. Throw up a couple bucks. You forgot to mention it's Fiorella's birthday, buddy. Come on, you got to mention it's a birthday out there.
You don't have to.
Don't you remember when you turned 28?
Damn.
You're 28, right, fam?
Stop aging me so much.
Oh, stop aging you. Listen to this BS. I make her younger, and now she wants to act like I'm aging her. Fam, the charades of the Epstein files, which is in Congress, has just become a chance to attack Donald Trump. Really, not really about going after the people who perpetrated these crimes, and not even helping the victims, not the survivors. Right? This is all about political posturing at this point. This is all about playing games. It has become disgusting, fam.
It's like a show.
It really has.
It's just theater. But I do want to go through some of it because you can psychologically see how depraved these people are. Like, especially Hillary. I don't know if you read that Hillary was supposed to be the worst one out of her and Bill. Yeah,
Bill just liked getting ass. He liked having sex.
Yeah, but she liked to but she liked to make people scared and play these games, and that is who she is. I mean, you guys saw her cackle with Gaddafi. We came, we saw, he died. She's evil. She's literally terrible. So we do have to go over some of that. Yeah, I'm 82 today, guys. 82. It's true.
Who said that?
I look great. He said 82 is the new 28. According, I'm 82.
Come on, man. I didn't say that. That's
no. Pasta didn't say that, but
I never said that.
Kelly Osbourne is not 82. Kelly Osbourne just looks really skinny. That's because her dad died, and she's really upset, and she's probably on Ozempic. But okay.
Oh God, is she really?
She lost a lot of weight. Okay, so let's go to this one. Okay, the first one, Jayme. It's her. I think we have her opening statement. Yeah, where it says opening statement. If you can pull that one up. That's because when you lose weight, your whole face shrinks, and the fat around your face makes you look younger. That's why Pasta looks so young. He's got chubby cheeks.
Oh, jeez.
I have an opening statement that I would like to deliver before we begin.
Please, Madam Secretary.
Mr. Chairman, ranking member, members of the committee, as a former United States senator, I have respect for legislative oversight, and I expect its exercise, as do the American people, to be principled and fearless in pursuit of truth and accountability. As we all know, however, too often congressional investigations are partisan political theater, which is an abdication of duty and an insult to the American people. This committee justified its subpoena to me based on its assumption that I have information regarding the investigations into the criminal activities of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Let me be as clear as I can. I do not. As I stated in my sworn declaration on January 13th, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island, homes, or offices. I have nothing to add to that. Like every decent person, I've been horrified by what we have learned about their crimes. It's unfathomable that Mr. Epstein initially got a slap on the wrist in 2008, which allowed him to continue his predatory practices for another decade. Mr. Chairman, your investigation is supposed to be assessing the federal government's handling of the investigations and prosecutions of Epstein and his crimes. You subpoenaed 8 law enforcement officials, all of whom ran the Department of Justice or directed the FBI when Epstein's crimes were investigated and prosecuted. Of those 8, only 1 appeared before the committee. 5 of the 6 former attorneys general were allowed to submit brief statements stating they had no information to provide. You have held 0 public hearings, refused to allow the media to attend them, including today, despite espousing the need for transparency on dozens of occasions. You have made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently in the Epstein files. And when you did, not a single Republican member showed up for Les Wexner's deposition. This institutional failure is designed to protect one political party and one public official, rather than to seek truth and justice for the victims and survivors, as well as inform the public who want to get to the bottom of this matter. My heart breaks for the survivors, and I am furious on their behalf. I have spent my life advocating for women and girls. I have worked hard to stop the terrible abuses so many women and girls face here and around the world, including human trafficking, forced labor, domestic violence, and sexual slavery. For too long, these have been largely invisible crimes or not treated as crimes at all. But the survivors are real and they are entitled to justice. In Southeast Asia, I met girls as young as 12 years old who had been forced into prostitution and raped repeatedly. Some were dying of AIDS. In Eastern Europe, I met mothers who told me how they lost their daughters to trafficking and did not know where to turn. In settings around the world, I met survivors trying to rebuild their lives and help rescue others with little support from people in power who too often turned a blind eye and a cold shoulder. If you are new to this issue, let me tell you, Jeffrey Epstein was a heinous individual, but he's far from alone. This is not a one-off tabloid sensation or political scandal. It is a global scourge with an unimaginable human toll. My work combating sex trafficking goes back to my days as First Lady. I worked to pass the first federal legislation against trafficking and was proud that my husband signed the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, which increased support for survivors and gave prosecutors better tools for going after traffickers. As Secretary of State, I appointed a former federal prosecutor, Lucy DeBaca, to ramp up our global anti-trafficking efforts. I oversaw nearly 170 trafficking programs and 7.
You don't hear her accolades?
This is 9 minutes long, guys. Do you want to hear 9 minutes of Hillary Clinton?
No, I do not.
Listing all her.
I've already heard 4
minutes
and 51 seconds of my life that I can never get back. It's gone forever, fam. I lost it.
Pasta, I have to say that her performance here is very good. And what she's doing is she's positioning herself back into the I'm Hillary Clinton, I stand for women, I'm the one that ran or walked so you could run, that sort of thing. She's talking to the feminists, she's talking to all these people saying, how could you even buy this? I've done so many things for women, I've done this and that. And the thing is, she's a really good public speaker. And she sounds intelligent. She's not AOC. I mean, she actually comes off like she knows her shit. The problem with this is nobody's buying it because we have her record her hidden record,
Yeah.
but also her record in terms of foreign policy and what her actions as Secretary of State have caused for a lot of women around the world. She is in the Epstein files. She did know who Epstein was. Multiple people have talked about this. This is not anything new, but she's literally lying in front of people. The thing about her is she's such a convincing liar. This is why she's so psychopathic, because she's really good at convincing people, at charming people, at really not showing any sort of weakness. And that is the most dangerous kind of psychopath.
17 times Epstein visited the White House while her husband was the president. 17 times on the logs that he was there. That alone right there will tell you that she's full of shit.
Yeah.
And there have been reports, witnesses of saying that she was on the island. She was also visited the New Mexico ranch quite a bit with her daughter and her father and vacationed there at times. So, I mean, I don't think people are buying the fact that she had nothing to do with them. But, I mean, this is the type of arena that she does thrive in, fam. If you would have asked me what Hillary Clinton's best moments were, I would say it would be during the Benghazi trials when the Republicans tried to play partisan politics and go after her, and she just threw it back at them every single chance she could get. You know what I'm saying? And once again, she was shielded from the fact that she was the one that would eventually kill Gaddafi and all these moves she had made. Going ahead with the coup in Honduras. I mean, there's so many things that Madam Secretary is responsible for. So many lives of women that she has killed by her decisions alone, when she was in the Senate, when she was the First Lady, when she was the Secretary of State. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of people aren't buying it, but there are a lot of people who will buy it. This will give people the confirmation bias to support the Democrats, more fodder, more ammunition, because she did shine, and then she waited for the Republicans to have those crazy moments to talk about those conspiracies. And I'm very interested to see where a lot of people stand on this. I'm going to be watching the chat, fam. I don't know if you put it in there, but I'll make sure we'll put it in when they do talk about Frazzle Drip and all that stuff going on. But she's going to use this to her advantage as much as she can, So these are the settings that are best for her, and she understands how to play this game when she gets in these hearings.
So the other thing she does, and since we get to skip to this, it's only 48 seconds. She goes after the Republicans, okay? She's going after the Republicans. She's playing the partisan thing, because right now the Democrats are trying to make this a Republican thing. Epstein and his whole cabal are only with Trump and the Republicans. They like, little girls. They like the young ones. It's nothing to do with the Democrats, and that's what she's doing. It's really smart, of course, but yeah, let's play it.
Nobody did ask her about
You have held 0 public hearings, refused to allow the media to attend them, including today, despite espousing the need for transparency on dozens of occasions. You have made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently in the Epstein files. And when you did, not a single Republican member showed up for Les Wexner's deposition. This institutional failure is designed to protect one political party and one public official, rather than to seek truth and justice for the victims and survivors, as well as inform the public who want to get to the bottom of this matter. My heart breaks for the survivors, and I am furious on their behalf. You have held 0.
She doesn't have a heart for it to break, but notice what she's doing here. Pam Bondi is an idiot, and Pam Bondi refused to answer questions about Epstein, right? And a lot of the Trump administration initially were very quiet about it. So she's using that weakness, that their lack of follow through, and turning it back on them and saying, look, they didn't make the hearing with Lex Wexner. They didn't even try. They don't care about the victims. I care about the victims. We need to bring justice. I'm on your side here. She's very manipulative, very, very intelligent. And again, this isn't an admiration of Hillary, but I have to be honest, with how she's positioning this, there are people that are going to buy it. She is making herself look like, I'm outside of this. I have nothing to do with this. The Republicans are the ones doing this. Look what they're doing right now with the Trump administration and the presidency. we want to hear the victims. We care about the victims. When she talks about the victims, there's not an ounce of emotion. There's no semblance of any sort of empathy. But she's just saying it. But the fact that she's saying it, and Pam Bondi was talking about the Dow, it works to her favor.
It does. And like I said, this is the arena she knows how to play. She's taking this and she's just turning this to right versus left. She says this is designed to protect a party and one candidate. Like she's talking about, Donald Trump. Once again, they brought him into this. They've made a mockery out of this whole situation. And for those people, the Clinton Foundation, somebody was mentioning it inside the chat, the Clinton Foundation, which has been known to be a front to traffic children. There's a lot of rumors about that. There's a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff like that. We'll never get to the bottom of this because the people will never be investigated that need to be investigated. And they'll have these hearings out here, these circus shows. There they are. They'll use these hearings as circus shows to provide cover and turn it into a partisan battle. And that's what's going on now. And people buy into it because then you have the whole right-wing media sphere out there right now that's getting promoted. The Dan Bonginos and all these other assholes just talk about how Republicans are so much better than Democrats. And what I'm saying? They'll play the right versus left game. And that's what people are contending to do. And Donald Trump had the same job as Bernie Sanders. That's the sheep herd people back into the two-party duopoly. And that's what they're doing. And here's what this is the act that they're performing when they get you back into that arena. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, so this one is a Nancy Mace going after her. And again, this is part of what Pasta just said, the two-party back and forth. But here she gets a little bit uncomfortable. It's 3 minutes. Let's watch.
He was impeached on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice, which directly related to his extramarital affair with Monica Lewinsky. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your husband was impeached for perjury related to sexual behavior, correct?
I didn't understand what you said.
Your husband was impeached for perjury related to sexual behavior, his sexual behavior.
He was impeached for several reasons, and then was acquitted in the Senate.
And your husband flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 17 to 26 times, correct?
He made several trips with different legs on the trip, as I recall.
But he flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 17 to 26 times?
Mm-hmm.
Were you aware that Secret Service was dropped on some of those flights?
That is not my understanding.
Where they were not on some of those flights?
That is not my
So
understanding.
your understanding is that Secret Service was on all of the flights that President Clinton was on?
That is
with
my
Epstein?
understanding.
By this standard of behavior, multiple credible accusers, including Juanita Broderick, who alleged rape against your husband was disbarred in Arkansas, lost his law license before the Supreme Court, flew on Epstein's plane dozens of times, visited Epstein's island.
That is not true. That is absolutely untrue.
Well, there's documentation in the DOJ files. I'm not sure you're aware, your attorneys have told you, but Jeffrey Epstein told one of the victims to lie to investigators, to lie that Bill Clinton was ever on Epstein Island. I can provide that document to you.
We would like that document, please.
Okay,
Yeah, counsel,
I can do
because
that.
actually the files say just the opposite. Epstein himself denied he was.
These are FBI notes from an interview with a victim, and I can get you the victim number and the case number and the files. These are notes from a 302
If
interview.
you'd like those, are you going to provide those now?
I don't, that's not my line of questioning. She brought it up, but I have a
I'm
document. I
sorry,
can give to
you're
you.
making a representation as to the fact.
I didn't enter anything as an exhibit.
But it's factually inaccurate.
No, I can give it to you later. I can go find the document, make copies of it, and give it to you this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Okay. By your standard of pattern of behavior, according to documents released by the Department of Justice, your husband appears in photos in swimming pools, hot tubs, aboard Jeffrey Epstein's private plane with unidentified young women. We came here today and you told this committee that a pattern of behavior demands accountability, correct?
I said that I believe the committee should call anyone who had a substantial pattern and practice of contact with Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes before they came to light.
Does that include your husband?
And after they came to light. You're going to have a chance to question him tomorrow.
So I'll ask you again, by the standard you just set in your own words just now, does this standard apply equally to your husband or only President Trump?
I have said that my husband has been subpoenaed. He will appear. He will answer your questions to the best of his ability. But there is no evidence whatsoever of any connection with Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. And I think that will be obviously apparent in the questioning.
They're going right into a wheelhouse, right? She does get a little frustrated and at times, but once again, this is her wheelhouse, right? She understands how to handle these hearings, and she does get frustrated at times, but she's able to flip it sometimes, fam. And that's the thing that a lot of people who want that confirmation bias, who want to like Hill Dog, are going to like Hill Dog after this. You see the way she took on the Republican attacks, fam. That's what they're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was visibly nervous though here when it comes to Clinton, but more so, I think, angry at him. It comes off to me like, Bill, like, you're bullshit. Like, I have to deal with this because of you. Like, it's not anything like, it's literally her being like, freaking Bill, like, and your fucking antics. Like, I can just hear her like say this stuff, and like she's just angry at that, but it's not because she feels that it's anything that she did wrong. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Like it's we have just a couple more of her, and then we have Bill, and then we're done with this. But I think it's good to watch it to see them. This one is this one's funny. So she's a narcissist as well.
And then just a couple of more questions. So regarding the Epstein files, there are many files where Jeffrey Epstein seems to speak as though he does know you personally. In one file, EFTA 006571115, Mr. Epstein is commenting, and he quotes, "Hey, Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person." This was Tuesday, September 20th, 2011. And then another...
Congressman, I'm not going to object to that.
See, these things.
Congresswoman, can we see the documents? Because we don't think the
will get that
says
printed.
it. We don't think the document says it. Not that you're not pretty.
That's saying Jeffrey Epstein is
oh my God, this is so freaking stupid.
Meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. Has he ever connected someone to meet with you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I'm going to let my colleagues ask. And
so, yeah.
I'm not going to object to that. Oh my God, fam. We can get back to breaking those glass ceilings. Hillary, please run again. That's what you're going to see.
She's so powerful.
Epstein this, Epstein that. Hold on. Epstein this, Epstein that. Well, that was my husband. That wasn't me. She's going to be able to separate herself from this shit after it's done.
And the last one, guys, I had to put this one up. It's what she did when she was angry, but we put up the one where
you had to, huh?
I think it's just the most accurate one. Go ahead, Jayme.
Jesus, fam.
This is real, except
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
Typical behavior.
I'm sorry. All right, guys, I had to show that one.
Fam, why are you doing that?
Why am I crazy? What's she gonna do?
All right, I want to show one thing. Is that the last one? Because I did bring up something because this is kind of important, right? So, how far once again, fam, how far do the conspiracy theorists on the right take this shit, right? The QAnoners, I'm sorry. There's a lot of truth in PSYOPs, fam. There really is. And I'm not saying that this isn't true. But if you're going to present this stuff, it's only going to backfire.
Yeah.
There's been a talk about Anthony Weiner's laptop, and the things that were on it were so horrifying. And there's supposedly a video out there of Hillary Clinton taking a baby's face off or a kid's face off and putting it on. And they get this thing called Frazzle Drip, which is supposedly be some type of adrenochrome. And the theory is that they scare these children to death, that they extract a higher amount of adrenochrome from them that's produced from the body, right? That's the argument, the conspiracy theory. Well, I don't know if it was Paulina Aguilar or Boebert or who it was, but they decided to bring this line of questioning to the table. And watch how she's going to turn it on them. She's going to play the, oh my God, these people are crazy. And you're going to hear these Q&A.
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled life insurance, with a zip file titled Frazzle Drip?
This is way outside the chairman's ruling.
This is way
within the
outside
scope.
the
Is this within the scope, Mr. Chairman?
If the chairman rules that it's not within the scope,
Mr. Chairman, based on what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
We can go off the record for a moment.
Mr. Chairman, is this within the scope?
We'll go off the record and consult.
Off the record, right?
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner?
And what they're talking about is the Frazzle Drip, right? The life insurance. This was a rumor that was out there for so long that people were talking. I don't know if it's true. I didn't see it. People have said they have had friends that seen it. This is the thing that I forgot her name, the tall Sidney Powell. There are hardened men, fam, in the military that looked at that laptop and lost their lunch. They couldn't stand it, right? This is where that whole thing comes about, the Frazzle Drip, the children. It's kind of tied to the whole Skippy video where he's scaring the child. These are the rumors that are coming into play. And I knew that she would be able to flip it because she knew they were going to ask it, right? And they're like off the record. So they're trying to make most about the off the record as if she said something. I knew that they were going to use this and flip this against them, fam. And they're going to flip this on them again. They're going to say the majority of the Republicans out there believe in this crazy shit. There's no evidence to support it. They're talking about Frazzle Drip, right? And there are situations where they do. There's always truth planted in psyops, but they make sure these things go way off the charts so you can say, look at these QAnoners. They're crazy. And that's what they're going to do with this here, fam. They're going to use this against the people asking those questions.
Well, yeah, that's the intent. Because, I mean, everything related to Epstein, even when we were talking about it 7 years ago, was like, oh, this is just conspiracy. This is just conspiracy. And a lot of those conspiracies turned out to be true. But it takes a while. And Hillary's not going to allow any of this to stick because she's just going to use, oh, look at the Trump administration. Look at what they're doing. They're crazy. And some of the things they say are crazy. So anything that's actually remotely true gets tossed out with all of that.
Rug. Yep. Swept under the rug, fam. We got Bill, your favorite president of all times, with something to say?
We got Bill. He was actually very he was the guy that people like. Even to this day, I think people still he's just a likable person, unlike his wife.
You want to have a beer with him, fam, on your birthday. I get it.
No, I definitely don't want to have a beer with Bill, but you know, now he likes the very, very young ones, clearly. So I think I'm safe, but let's go ahead and play the video of him. This one's interesting. He's reminiscing. So he's laughing. Look at his lawyer. She's like, look at his face.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour. So I just want to ask you some questions related to the crimes committed by Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, people are gonna play that. Like, look at him laughing at them. This thing has been turned into a whole joke now. It really has.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a feeding of the confirmation bias of those who want to play the team sports mentality game. And there's a lot of people out there like that, fam. But this is giving them the ammunition they were looking for and they needed. And when you have a conversation, oh my God, you're talking about the Republicans who are questioning you about Frazzle Drip and adrenochrome that has no proof. These are fucking QAnon rumors. It's going to turn into that. And unfortunately, like you said, anything that is true is swept under the rug. It's swept under the rug right now. And that's what they're doing with this whole situation. That's what it's meant to do. And they're being successful at it.
And he's not admitted to anything. He says he knows nothing. So
Yeah.
Here it is. Like, so the whole, he's just not going to answer to anything because there's plenty of pictures of him everywhere.
Are you aware that Mr. Middleton committed suicide?
Yes, I am.
In 2022. He was found dead at Hefner Ranch, approximately 30 miles from his home in Little Rock. He was discovered hanging from a tree by an extension cord around his neck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. So he was shot and hung. Do you have any information that leads you to suspect that he did something other than commit suicide?
No.
Okay.
Do you have any concerns that this was in relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, given the date?
But the president has
of the
already
suicide?
testified to the fact that he was unaware that Mr. Epstein was visiting the White House. So are you asking him then as to what he would have known?
I'm asking, when you heard about the death, knowing about the things that have been, at this point, it's all over the news, seeing that he has committed suicide. Have you ever had any conversations with people about whether or not that there's any relationship between the two?
Oh, no. No one's ever suggested it to me.
Okay. Thank you. I yield back.
Layup question. What are you going to get out of him?
It's really sad.
Mr. McGuire from Virginia.
He represents UVA.
Yeah, they called their bluff. Yeah, they called their bluff. You allowed them to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know.
Fam, I have a question. How does one die of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest and also hang themselves?
He suicided himself, fam. Don't you know that? He hung.
Is anybody here an expert in that sort of thing? Like,
he wasn't choking to death, so he took the gun and shot himself, and then.
Because in all my true crime studies, and TV doctor studies, I have just a very slight suspicion that that's not what happened.
Yeah, so do I. But still, that doesn't prove that he had a part of it, right? And you don't want to give this guy you don't want to let him call you bluff. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to put him in a position where they can't talk their way out of what's going on. They can't explain why there's a picture of him. Like, did anybody show him a picture? Like, is this you getting a massage from a 16-year-old girl? This girl's 16 years old. That kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, like I said, they've turned this thing into a whole fucking circus at this point.
Well, yeah. And the last thing, this isn't about the victims anymore. This is about Bill and Hillary getting away with it. And they're not going to be held accountable like any of the Epstein accusers or people who participated in this. But this next one, fam, takes me back to when we talked about Epstein. Remember, we talked about this picture right here, the devil with the blue dress, right? And that's Bill. And he's wearing the blue dress with the red shoes. This is very symbolic. And God, what's his name, fam? The
Mohammed bin Salman, you talking about the other picture?
No, this picture right here.
Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton.
No, the artist.
Oh, I don't even know.
It's the name escapes me. He's
the
brother of
you're talking about Podesta's brother who did
Podesta.
This is
the other Podesta. Yeah,
creepy art, that kind of, and it is creepy art. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't prove that they're, guilty.
It's not. You're never gonna get. It's like with the election. You're never gonna get a smoking gun proof. There's so many little things that prove everything together. You're not gonna get the body. They're just not gonna allow you to have the body. All right, but. Let's watch this video because they asked him about this.
Submitted to the record, we have a painting that seems to be of you, Mr. President, found in one of Jeffrey Epstein's residences, wearing I would categorize it as a famous blue dress worn by the White House intern Monica Lewinsky. And I have this image here. This image is being passed around. So, Mr. President, we are looking at an image of a portrait that is looks to be you, Mr. President, in this blue dress.
He doesn't answer
Can you
anything
describe
about
this
it.
painting? And
He doesn't need to describe the painting. You just gave him a picture. What's your question?
my question is, are you familiar with this painting? Have you ever seen it in person?
I've never seen it in person.
Do you know why someone would paint this?
Are you asking
Objection. That's calls for speculation. You can ask the artist.
And If I had known Jeffrey Epstein had this painting, it would have saved me this whole day.
He never saw the painting, had no idea of anything, right? They have no idea. The deny. And they're going to get away with it. You know, as and many of you have said in the chat, people aren't going to be held accountable for this. This is just like, let's give him this. All right, let's just give him this and let all these other people say, oh, look at this, look at that. Nothing will come out of it. That's how I feel. Like it's not come out in all this time. It's not going to come out. And there's been files deleted now, reportedly.
I'll forget about
from the government registry. So
forget about it. They've hit anything that's going to put any of their friends in trouble. It's a circus at this point. And it's going to be used to manufacture consent. It's going to be used to control the narrative management. And it's just a shame at this point right now. The survivors are not going to get any justice. And the whole thing is this behavior hasn't stopped. It hasn't, it's still going on. The children are still being trafficked and whatnot. So,
USA is all circus and no bread.
What's up,
Yeah,
Snow?
they don't even give you bread anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't even get the bread. You don't even
Fam,
get the bread.
I heard you're going to be on INN later.
Tonight, I got that show tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, with Reef and Colin.
It's late.
Yeah, it's not.
Reef,
it's late.
don't smoke so much marijuana.
I'm going to smoke a ton of marijuana before I get up.
Tell Reef to not be such a reefer.
When Reef blows the smoke through the screen, I'm going to inhale it. So that's at 9 o'clock. At 4 p.m., I got drive time. So we got that going on too as well. And yeah.
Guys, go over to my Substack and read the latest podcast I did with Vanessa. We dive deep into what's happening in Iran, what we think is going to happen next, what's been going on, China and Russia's role. We talk about that. So yeah, take a look at all that stuff. And we're going to play a short video of the Morandi interview.
Guys, I want to say that we did get a couple more. We got another gift send go, by the way. Hugh, this is happy birthday, Fee. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Hugh.
Yeah.
Hugh.
Fuck Hugh. Fuck Hugh. Jayme, did you copy it? Put it up.
Gosh, you're so demanding. Be nice.
Jayme needs to have his coffee before these shows. Unbelievable.
Not
Get it up. There we go.
Hugh. Thank you, Hugh.
And by the way, when we look at the gifts and go, guys, we are $3 away from 1,800. Who wants to be the $3 donator to get
$3?
$3 is all we need to get to. Refresh that, Jayme.
Oh, it's not refresh. Okay, I was confused. I'm like, fam, I thought you were.
Jayme has not had
math.
his coffee. 1797. It was a great year. Why did you take it down?
Oh, really? Can you tell me about it, Pasta? Because you were around.
Great. Great year, Jayme. 1797, 34 gives, 21 shares, guys. If you can't give a share. We want to get it up to 1,800 before the show ends. It's Fee's 28th birthday, right? So she's 28 years old today. Oh, shit. And we want to wish her a happy birthday. And I want to thank everybody who's in the chat today and hanging on out. All the old school people. You guys mean the world to us. Thank you guys so much. You can catch fam. When do you have another critical perspective coming on?
We just released this one, so not for a bit, but I'm gonna put some stuff up, and I'm even gonna add the Morandi interview on the Substack because I'm gonna write about it. So I'll add to it.
You should also share right now the link to your what channel? Your
PayPal.
No. You should always have that stuff up, but you never have that. Your Telegram channel. Your Telegram channel is awesome. It's lit. I constantly see it comes up. There's a lot of great information, guys. Go check out our Telegram channel too as well.
Guys, why aren't you following me on Telegram? I have a good amount of subscribers there, and you guys don't follow me on Telegram. So I'll share the link right now.
Yes.
I'm really bad about
11,000 followers. So we want to get her up there and the followers.
Wait,
on
how do I do
great,
how do I even do
great channel to follow. Go follow her over there and stuff. I want to thank Fiorella Isabel on her birthday. Happy birthday. Jayme CheeseSlice on the ones and twos who needs his coffee. Gabrielle Freedom. Jamie's not even laughing. Fred Edward, all those other people, and Friendly Brilliant, Anna Ringwall, everybody out there. Gonzo Socialism. If we missed anybody, know that we love you. We appreciate everything you do. We're gonna finish up with the Mohammed Morandi clip that Jayme made. Thank you, Jayme. If you want to go watch the whole video, Jayme, make sure you put a link to that whole video in the chat. Fam, we also have it done in Twitter. We have it done for Twitter, so we should release them on Twitter later on today. That's a very important interview, guys. We kind of dive into a lot of perspectives about things that are said. On the TV screens with the morons here in Florida watching Fox News, they'll constantly say, we need to do this. These people scream death to America all the time. We cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. And this manufacturer's consent for people to go, okay, well, they want to kill us. We'll kill them first, fam. It's okay. There's a reason why they say these things. Let's play the video. Let's play the clip. Thank you very, very much. Everybody go to the Give, Send, Go. Let me see if did we reach 1,800? It's Fam's birthday, guys. Come on. Get us to 1,800 before we run on out. This is the TruthWire. We'll see you back Friday. Danny Shaw will be with us to talk about Cuba. There's something going on over there, fam, that a lot of people aren't knowing about. Truth time, truth out, everybody. We'll see you next Friday.
Bye, guys.
Can't hear it. You know, I was going to ask you, Professor, about like, well, what is your answer to? Because you hear all these senators and congressional members say they chant death to America over there. They want us dead. We have to stop them.
Well, death to America is something that is chanted at gatherings, and right now on the streets of Tehran, in the large gatherings that we have tonight, I'm sure they're saying death to America. But that doesn't mean ordinary people in the United States. They're talking about American imperialism. They're talking about the regime that's the Epstein regime that's waging war on the Iranian people and bombing their homes. Just like when people in the past used to say Yankee go home, they didn't mean every American passport holder should leave the country. They meant the US government. It should go home and leave them alone and mind their own business. That chant of death to America means death to the American empire, death to American imperialism. And it has nothing to do with ordinary Americans.